Yo book nerds, I finished reading Walk to Moons by Sharon Creech. This is a middle grade story, and I read it because my 6th graders were going to be reading it, so, I needed to read it, right? I really enjoyed this book. I thought there were many layers to this story. The main character, Sal, which is short for Salamanca, It was interesting right off the bat. I really liked her character. I thought she had a lot of depth. I was extremely interested in her story, and I had to read and find out what was going on with her. I thought Creech's characterization of Sal was just perfect. She was humorous, sarcastic, witty. I really enjoyed her quirky comments. Sal's grandparents in this I also really enjoyed. They actually reminded me a little bit of my own grandparents. They were kind of quirky, kind of in their own world. Not everyone understood them. They were kind of getting themselves into trouble often, which kind of reminded me of my own paternal grandparents. This story is a framed narrative, so you have Sal's story on the outside, and then within Sal's story is Phoebe's story. And as Phoebe's story unwinds, you learn more about Sal's story. So there's a lot of parallels between these two stories. So Sal is going on a road trip with her grandparents to go see her mother. Her mother had left about a year ago, and Sal is finally going to go see her. She lives in Ohio, and her mom is in Idaho. So they're going on a road trip across the country to go see her mom. And at the beginning of the story, you don't know why her mom left. You just know that she left, and you get clues throughout the story as to what happened. On this road trip, Sal is entertaining her grandparents by telling her stories of her friend Phoebe. And Phoebe is kind of a wild character. She is kind of a hypochondriac. She is always assuming the worst of everybody. She's very dramatic, and a lot of weird things happen in her life. So if you don't want to know any more, I would just leave it at that. I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth, so spoiler alert if you don't want to know any more than that. Just know that I did really enjoy the book, and I recommend it. So I unfortunately did have the ending spoiled for me. So that was unfortunate. So that's why, again, I wanted to give a spoiler alert, because can't talk too much about this book without spoilers. So unfortunately, I did have the big mystery of Sal's mom spoiled very early on, which kind of was disappointing. But the mystery itself, I still had quite a lot of mystery to unravel, even though I knew the ending. So some of my reading of the story may be different than yours because I had the ending spoiled. So certain things may have made a different impression if I wouldn't have known about the ending. I don't know. We just have to roll with what we have, right? So again, spoiler alert, but let's talk about it. So Phoebe's mom leaves. And so as Sal is telling her grandparents about Phoebe's mom and all the circumstances surrounding Phoebe's mom and why she left, Sal is kind of reflecting on her own mom and their relationship and why her mom left. And the parallel between these two stories I thought was so well written. The characters did not feel like carbon copies of each other. They felt like two distinct stories, and yet there were so many parallels. The author's craft just really shone here. Like, it was very well put together. There is also lots of discussion about Native Americans in this book and whether they should be called Native American or American Indian. And Sharon Creech, she is not Native American, but she had said that she grew up thinking that she was, so I don't really know much more of her backstory other than that. So there's been some controversy about this book and about whether or not she should be writing on these topics because she's not Native American, even though she grew up thinking that she was. So it's interesting, but I thought the discussion was respectful, and I also am not Native American, so I can't speak too much to it, but I thought that she did a nice job, especially for someone who is not Native American. So, I mean, I can't really give more of my opinion than that. It's a story, guys. This is fiction, right? It's not real. So you have to understand that it's not real. It's not a real story. So about that ending, there was so much foreshadowing, and I don't know if I picked up on the foreshadowing because I knew the ending or because this is middle grade and I'm an adult. Like, again, I don't know, but I thought the foreshadowing was well done, and eventually you do find out, again, spoiler alert, that Sal's mom has passed away. She did leave her family. And so that whole reason was still a big mystery to me, but I knew that she had died. So like, I still had quite a bit of things to unravel in the story as I read, but the fact that her mom had died was spoiled for me, unfortunately. But I thought the death imagery and foreshadowing all tied in really nicely. And again, there was so many mysteries in this one story. Like, some of it I called right away, and then others of it kind of blew me out of the water. I called the twist with Phoebe's mom. I won't go into it right now, but there's a twist with Phoebe's mom, and I saw that coming, and it hadn't been spoiled for me, so I guessed that. But then there's this mystery with these messages being left on Phoebe's porch, and that twist I did not see coming. Like, I didn't call that, so I enjoyed this whole story and all the different layers and all the different mysteries. Just very nicely done. I also called part of the twist with Sal's mom and why she left. Part of it I didn't call. So like, the reason why Sal's mom left is very complicated. So I figured out part of it on my own. The other part I did not, even though I knew it all led to her dying in the end. There were also a ton of great quotes in this book, so I just want to share a few of them that I enjoyed. At the beginning of the story, we know Sal's mom left and that she's sad, and there's a line where she feels happy about an event and it like catches her off guard. And then Sal says to herself, "Salamanca Tree Hiddle," that's her full name, "you can be happy without her." And that, like, that strength that it takes to like overcome sadness and feel joy again, and to also like be okay with yourself feeling joy, like without feeling guilty about it or beating yourself up or wallowing in grief for so long. Like, I thought that was beautiful. As someone who has lost people close to her, like, that resonated with me. Like, it's okay to be happy. Those people that you've lost, those people that have left you, it's okay for you to move on and to still feel joy. You don't have to stay stuck in the past. Then there's a scene at one of their friends' house, Mary Lou, and Mary Lou's house is always in chaos, like just kids running around everywhere. It's loud, it's crazy. And Phoebe takes one look around and she says, "Mary Lou's parents do not seem to have much control over things." And that cracked me up so much, like, because my house is crazy because I have 5 kids. So my house is chaotic all the time. And so that line just made me laugh because, yeah, sometimes I feel like that, like I have no control over my household. So I just thought that was funny. Then I have to point out that there is a reference to Edgar Allan Poe. Guys, I have had so many books this year reference Edgar Allan Poe. Like, this is the year of Edgar Allan Poe for me, guys. In chapter 14, they reference the Murder in the Rue Morgue, which I read earlier this year. So if I wouldn't have read that, I didn't know that was by Poe, and they don't mention Poe's name, so I wouldn't have got that reference if I wouldn't have read Poe. Like, I just had to, like, point out that allusion because I like seriously, this has been the year of Edgar Allan Poe for me. So I just finished reading his story and then I read this and he's in here, guys. Like, it's meant to be. But anyway, there were lots of good quotes. All of the messages that are left on Phoebe's front porch are all great life lessons. I'm not going to go through them all. If you want to know, you should read the book. But such a great story. It was such a quick read. I read it in like a week. Like, guys, that's fast for me because I don't have a lot of time to read. So I read this super quickly. It is an easy read, and yet it is very complex. There's so many layers, and this is middle grade. So I thought this was extremely complex for middle grade, and there's a lot of hard, deep topics that are covered in this story. Life and death, love and loss. Like, this is a hard book and very heavy content for any age, especially for middle schoolers. But this story does end on a very hopeful note. The story is very heavy and very dark, though it has moments of humor throughout, but there's this kind of like weight on the characters throughout the stories. But then by the end, it's very uplifting. You feel that weight lift off of them, and there is hope for the future. So I thought it was a super beautiful book. Highly recommend. I really enjoyed it. Drop down in the comments if you've read Walk Two Moons and let me know your thoughts there. So what am I reading now? I have started Lord of the Flies by William Golding. I am on chapter 4, and I hope to have this finished by the end of the year. Hopefully I can do that. If I do, I will try to get the review out before the end of the year. Otherwise, it may be in 2026. We'll just have to wait and see. But so far, I'm liking it. Kind of too soon to tell right now what I'm going to think of it. That's all I have for you guys today. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for talking books with me.